Welcome to Situations and Conversations, everybody. I am your host, Renee. So excited that you're joining us today. We are about to have a very serious conversation about a very serious situation. And you know, we aim to do this through my 5 E's. I'm going to keep telling them to you because I want you to get them ingrained and use them in your own homes. Let's say them together. We're here to empower, enlighten, educate, elevate, and of course, entertain. And we are going to do just that today. Today's situation is, you know what? I think you should just take a look.
Hi.
Hey, Bobbi. Oh, is that your real hair?
Yeah, why?
I like it better this way.
Yeah.
It's so soft.
Yeah. Really soft, yeah.
Do you wear it usually like this?
Sometimes I need a trim, so then my mom takes me to go get it, but other than that, not really.
That, you guys, was just a snippet, just a little clip of the award-winning short film, Another Day, and shot here locally in Oregon. And we have filmmakers and the star here on Situations and Conversations. I'm so excited to announce and introduce you to Bobbi MacKenzie, star of the film. And I have full disclosure, she's also my daughter. And we also have Pearson Kunz, who is of Golden Pride Productions. And you are the producer of this film.
Correct.
Yes, give it up.
Thank you.
And last, but certainly not least, I'd like to introduce you to Sommer Martin of Summer Camp Productions.
Yes.
She is also affiliated with this film as the director, as well as the writer.
Yes.
And I think this is amazing that we have everybody here for such a serious situation. And if you weren't able to gather what the situation is about, let me spell it out for you. Today, we're talking about being a kid of color in a predominantly white school system, which I know is a reality for many, many of our young people, including my own daughter. And so I'd like to talk to you guys. First off, how did this come about? I mean, I know, but why don't you tell people how it came about? Pearson, you start.
Well, Bobbi auditioned for another film that we were making, and she wasn't the fit for that role, but she's obviously an incredible talent. And so we were like, what do you want to make, Bobbi, that showcases you, your experience, your talents? What are you interested in saying? And I was also in grad school for teaching at the time and becoming aware of these realities that we were going into as teachers. And yeah, I was just interested in collaborating with Bobbi to tell that story. And then Sommer came on as well because I don't really have any place directing and leading the story of the struggle of Black girls in school. So
Yeah.
I brought Sommer on to help tell that story and bring her touch to it as well.
And it came out November 2019.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I remember, Bobbi, when you were shooting this, you were, how would you describe your time in telling, this is your story on film?
It was really difficult at first because I was kind of talking about these locked away emotions that I didn't really want to bring out because it is so hurtful. But I really trusted these guys. We were super vulnerable, and I told my story. So everything that's in the film has actually happened to me.
Yeah.
And it was great because it was kind of like that piece of closure that I needed because I never really talked about it unless I was talking to my family and such, but really opening up to other people and getting to make something so beautiful out of it that educates people. It was great. It was a great experience.
Yeah, I would imagine that it was because I know you and you do feel things deeply, but you also sometimes keep things in deeply.
Yes.
And having the opportunity, thanks to you guys, to express this and turn this into an award-winning short film. I mean, come on, that is incredible. So obviously the story resonated with a lot of people. Sommer,
Yes,
you came on.
I did.
And tell me how this resonated with you, because it's not like you're still a kid in the school system, but
Right.
what did it speak to for you?
Well, at the time, it came at the perfect timing because I was sort of battling some stuff personally, and this was like almost like the catalyst to the Summer Today, darling.
yes. Welcome.
But I got a call from Astor, your husband,
Yeah.
and asking me if I want to be a part of a project to direct it. And I'm just like, okay, cool. So knowing that Bobbi was a singer, I thought this was going to be a music video. And so coming in, I'm like, yes, let's do this and do that. And then I started to have conversations with Bobbi, and I'm like, wait, there's a deeper story here. And we had more conversations and more conversations. I asked like a million questions. And before I knew it, I'm like, hey, we actually have like 2 stories that we can do, and we have to do both of them. So I came on, and we really just worked through it. We just talked, I wrote, we rewrote, we just did everything.
Yeah, and you cried.
I cried so much.
I mean, we can laugh now, but it was very emotional.
It was. I was dealing with some things, and a lot of things came up because some of Bobbi's stories, it's like, whoa, that happened to me. I'm 35. And I'm 35, but I'm just like, that happened to me back in the early 90s, but this is still happening to her today. And it was just really weird, and it took me to a really dark place, and it was perfect timing because I had to deal with those demons, and this helped me.
Yeah, I think it helped a lot of people. It helped a lot of people. Now, Pearson, you're sitting here, and clearly you're not a person of color going through the school system, but you are in the school system.
Right.
You are a teacher.
Yes.
And so speak to me about why it was important for you to produce this story.
I think it's because film for me is showing us what we don't get to see just in our everyday, especially as white people. A lot of the conversations and the things that are happening in this film, they happen all around us, and we just have no idea that they're happening. And so to have these close-ups on Bobbi's experience and have her tell it in her own words brings it to light for us. Like you're saying, enlighten, one of your E's is to just enlighten us and educate us about these experiences, because we can go our whole lives without ever confronting these things.
Or even knowing. Because, for example, in that clip, I'm sure that the young lady, she's a great actress, but who she was representing are a lot of young white kids who are seemingly very fascinated with our hair. And adults too, but man, don't get me started on the adults. That's a whole nother conversation, but that we will have, because we talk about all these situations. But as far as the kids go, I remember that when I was in school. And I am 47 years old, and I was in school in the early 80s, going to elementary. And I remember, and I've told this story before, playing Duck, Duck, Goose, and nobody wanting to touch my hair because they were afraid about it, and then afterwards being so curious that all they wanted to do was touch it. So I was like, it's hurtful, and you don't know it until you show it, and then hopefully when you know better, you what? Do better, right? And so that's the point of this. And so that's why we're here today having this conversation around this situation and this beautiful film. And thank you guys again so much for not only being here, but for putting your heart and soul into this project, so that we can show it to everybody. And so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna come back with another fantastic clip, but we're gonna take a break first. Don't go away, we'll be right back with more situations and conversations right after this.
We know that we have the beauty and brilliance to positively shape our lives. Unfortunately, racism, continuous displacement, and discrimination have created barriers to our success. So, if you feel invisible and you're not being heard, if the social, emotional, and educational needs of your kids aren't being met, we want you to know we are here. We see you, we hear you. We are ready to walk with you on your journey to success.
I had to reach out because I felt like this is probably a situation that many people have experienced, but you put it out there. And so in the interest of time, tell us what happened on that day. What was this, back in February?
Yeah, it was back in February. So my wife and I, so my wife's from Covington, Louisiana, and I'm born and raised in Los Angeles. So it's like two opposite sides of the world. I didn't realize, because I didn't travel to the South that much, and I didn't realize
All right, welcome back to Situations and Conversations with Renee. Man, we are having one kind of conversation today. I was gonna say a bad word, but can't do that. But we are definitely having a serious conversation about a very serious situation. We're talking about being a kid of color in a predominantly white school system. And we have filmmakers from the award-winning short film, Another Day, and the star here with us today. We have Sommer Martin, who wrote and directed this project. We also have Pearson Kunz, who is the fabulous producer. And we have Bobbi MacKenzie, who is the star of this film. And you know what? Before I say another thing, I think we should take a look at another very powerful clip from the film.
Why are you staring at me like that?
If I had a gun right now, I'd shoot you because you're black.
Wow. I mean, everybody just take a pause off that one.
Yeah.
Bobbi, this actually happened to you. I remember when you came home and told us about this.
Yep. Yeah, that was just absolutely crazy. And in that scene that we didn't get to finish, he basically just tells me that it was all a joke, that I shouldn't be overreacting. I was just joking around. And that's when I was like, okay, I shouldn't be speaking up anymore because no one's going to take me seriously. Even after that ridiculous comment that he just made, everyone's going to laugh at me. No one's going to agree with me. Everyone's just going to think I'm crazy and all this stuff. So after that, I never really spoke up for myself, and it really hurts. But it's because I know that I won't have the support. But yeah, that actually happened, and that literally scarred me. I'm like, did you just?
Right. Of course. I mean, that's crazy. Who wouldn't be affected by something like that? And something you mentioned, feeling like you wouldn't have the support. Let's talk. Okay, so Pearson, not only are you a filmmaker, but you also are a teacher. And talk to me about the support or lack thereof that students of color encounter when something like this happens.
Right. Yeah, I mean, we've all been to middle school. A lot of things are said all the time. And as teachers, we are just hearing constantly so many terrible things being said between students. And so it can get lost in the shuffle, I think. And that for something so traumatic, like what was just said there, it's easy, I think, for teachers to not realize how significant it is when it is such a quick moment, and it is so easy for that white student to just write it off as a joke or say like, I didn't actually mean it, and then just move along with the day.
And then expect us or, the student of color to just go along.
Right.
Don't make waves. It's not that big of a deal. He was just joking, or she was just joking, or she's just touching your hair. What's the big deal? It's beautiful. I've heard that so many times as an excuse, right? As an excuse, like, it's beautiful. Your hair is beautiful. People are just curious about it. They just want to know.
Put their little funky fingers in your hair.
I mean, it's almost like you have to laugh to keep from crying about it.
Yeah. It's an invasion of your personal space.
Yeah.
And I mean, especially when you're not even thinking that it's going to happen and somebody just walks up and puts their hands through your hair to feel the texture.
Yes.
And it's just like, man, come on. It's just like walking up to a pregnant woman and touching her stomach. You don't do that.
And people do.
And people do.
It's like, I'm not your pet. I'm not an animal. Please don't pet me. But I literally feel stuck. I feel like I can't move, like I can't say anything because I get so anxious. And it's terrible.
And that's like a continued learned behavior. So once you experience like a traumatic event like that, and then you say something and you're not met with the kind of response that's supportive, your brain, especially as children, is still developing. I tell you that all the time in a whole nother context. But, it's still developing. Got to keep it real. And so your brain will change to adapt to that. And then you start to react to everything with, fear and trepidation and nervousness and anxiety. And all those things make sense. They make total sense. So we have to do better. We have to do better. Regarding the just joking, how often do you hear that? about, insensitive comments, what we call microaggressions, by the way. These are little microaggressions. And in case you don't know what they are, please, let me break it down for you. Can you just imagine one cut may not hurt so bad, right? One little paper cut, another little paper cut. Ooh, that's okay. That's starting to bug me. Can you imagine little paper cuts over and over and over and over? They start to not only irritate, but they also leave a scar. It's a lasting impression. These, you think about, oh, that's just a little thing. A buildup of little things turns into a big thing. And this is where we are still, and this is why I experienced it, why Sommer's experienced it, why Bobbi's experiencing it, and it's how many decades?
Yeah.
How many decades?
Every generation.
When are we going to stop and be intentional and be thoughtful and purposeful about the things that we're not only saying, but that we're doing, and how we are perceiving and impressing, but I can't even speak because I'm getting emotional, but we are making these impressions on other people. We have to be mindful. Everybody.
Yeah.
Okay. Whew. That was a whole lot, right? Oh my gosh, did I get all heated? I think I did. Okay, I think that's then a good time to take a quick break. Woo! We'll be right back with more young people. We have young people to speak to this topic, right? Who are living it right now. All right, so we'll be right back with more situations and conversations. Don't go away. Don't go away.
Situations and Conversations with Renee is sponsored by Black Parent Initiative, learning and growing together so families can thrive. Education Explorers. Parents, with companies starting to bring people back into the office and workspace, count on Education Explorers for safe, quality, reliable, and culturally sound childcare. They have low to no cost spaces available for infants and children up to 4 years old at their 2 locations in Tigard. Don't live in Tigard? No problem. Just ask about their free transportation services in Washington County. Reserve your child's spot now. Contact them online at educationexplorershcc.com or give them a call at 971-266-3646. Education Explorers, childcare you can count on. Furniture and decor provided by Home Place Furniture and Design. Get all your furniture and design needs at Home Place Furniture and Design, with 2 locations in Oregon to serve you. Wardrobe for Renee, that's me, provided by Janelle James Boutique, located at Bridgeport Village in Tigard. Styling services were provided by Dawn Cannon.
Congratulations to Afternoon Live's Renee, honored with the Emmy Award for Best Host.
We actually made this a special episode because after talking with so many people in the community, as well as our own crew here at Situations and Conversations, tensions are high, frustrations are high. And Keith, I try to be light and love in the world,
Right.
But there's so much darkness. And it's really exhausting being a person of color in this country.
It is.
So, how do you feel? I mean, I know you're a mental health professional. I mean, you're highly educated. You're a Black man.
Yep.
Tell me, what do you think about what's going on in our country right now?
Yeah. Your first question, how do you feel? It's heavy, and it has been heavy for so long. And it's a different kind of heaviness because we've always known that this thing has existed. Now, after George Floyd, the rest of the country knows. And the question is, well, what are we going to do about it?
Right.
So after George.
Serious conversation, you guys, about a very serious situation, though. We're here to talk to you about being a kid of color in a predominantly white school system. And you know that on this show, we love to amplify young voices. So now, in addition to the filmmakers and the star of the film, Another Day, we also have some students, local middle schoolers. Please welcome Shalia to the show. She's from Fabian Middle School. Yes, give it up. And Amara is from Beaumont Middle School. Welcome, you guys. All right, so I know that you guys have been behind the scenes watching and listening and waiting for your chance to talk about your experience as being a kid of color in a predominantly white school system. So who wants to go? Oh, Shalia, I think you did the rock, paper, scissors. You get to go first. Okay, so do you have a question for anybody?
How do you answer when a Black student comes to you saying that they was getting bullied?
Well, I think the most important thing is to validate that student's experience and make sure that they know that I'm taking it seriously. And most importantly, I have to remind myself that I don't understand fully what that experience is like. So it's a lot of listening for me. It's a lot of just taking in what they're feeling and what their needs are. And yeah, taking it seriously, because I think it's like we were talking about earlier, it's so easy just in the minutia of everything to get lost in it.
Yeah. Listening is good. Action is also good.
Yes.
Listening is great.
Right.
Following up with some sort of action item, I think is a lot of times, don't you want to see that there's something that's either being said or done to help rectify the situation some kind of way?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's important too. That's a good question though, because I'm sure a lot of students have experienced that.
A lot of my friends have went to teachers and asked, and they just told them not to do it. Didn't stop.
Didn't stop. Yeah, that's unfortunate. And it's not, and guess what? You don't even have to be a kid of color to be bullied, right? Bullies come in all shapes and forms and for all sorts of reasons that they have, for them to do what they do. And unfortunately, we do need to take it far more seriously. Yeah, I agree.
Bobbi, when you were in school, did you ever feel uncomfortable wearing your hair out since a whole bunch of people wanted to touch it?
Oh my gosh. Yes. I hated wearing my hair out in elementary school. When I did, I would go in the closet, like our little cubby or whatever you want to call it, and I would go cry in there for a while and come out because my friends said that it looked weird. It wasn't normal. And they said that in the first grade, and I was like, you're right. Like, this is so ugly. Why would I even wear my hair like this? So I hated having it out. And sometimes to this day, I still do get a little bit insecure if it's not curled the way, like to perfection, the way that I want it. I'm like, I hope no one says anything, like touches it weirdly and it just gets all messed up. But I've still am learning how to come into my own skin, but it has gotten better over the years. I shouldn't really care what they think, and my hair is beautiful, however it looks.
Yes, it is.
So.
Yes, it is. And I think we might have to do a whole show around hair, because the messages that we receive are far more negative than positive. They're starting to be far more positive now within movements, right? I'm seeing a lot more of natural hair coming out. I like your Afro puffs. They look bomb. But there was a time when you didn't see that anywhere except in our communities. And so when we went outside the community, it was like, oh, what's that? And that doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good, does it? Okay. All right, I'm sorry. I'm taking over. Kids, that's right. Amplifying youth voices. Okay, go ahead.
Bobbi, I have a question for you. Why did you feel like nobody would, why did you not want to come to nobody?
Because when I did come to my friends about it, they told me that I was overreacting, that they were just making jokes. Even teachers and principals, well, they're still kids and they're still young. And I'm like, I know that, but they know what's right and what's wrong. But after all that, I got tired of trying to explain things to people, so I wasn't even going to try to defend myself anymore because I knew I wouldn't be taken seriously, which I knew it was wrong that I wasn't standing up for myself, but how could I? No one was listening. No one was really listening. They were just silently making fun of me, if I'm going to be honest. So, yeah.
And then can I add on top of that, as your mom, and knowing that this was happening, you didn't even want us to do anything about it. Because you were like, no, don't say anything, because I don't want my friends or I don't want anybody to, look at me different and basically ostracize you for standing up for yourself. And that hurts as a parent. On top of that, like, you're hurting, then we're hurting because we don't know how to help you, because you don't want us to help the way we know how, because we can bring the rah-rah. Come on, you know how it is. Mama, daddy, pawpaw, mama, whoever, auntie come up to the school, and we're going to set everybody straight. But then that will leave you still at the school. And so us parents, we have to temper that too. And it's difficult. These are difficult waters to swim through. But you guys do it brilliantly. I want to say that. You all are doing it brilliantly every day. So please give it up for yourselves for being able to continue to get your education, fighting through all of this other madness. You know what I mean? I know it's not easy. I know it's not easy. All right, go ahead. We still have some more time. Come on.
Bobby, did you feel like your culture and your culture was represented and accepted at your school?
Ooh.
No, not at all.
They want the music.
Oh, yeah, they definitely want the music, and they want the N-word and all of that. I've been called the N-word too, which is terrible, but that's like another story. But no, never represented. No one even asked about it. No one really cares because it's not who they are. And there aren't a lot of there aren't a lot of black kids, so no, not at all. No one really cared, like I said before. And I didn't want to ask about it because that's just awkward. They don't know. I didn't even know. And I'm learning now. So that's definitely saying something. So, yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah, please.
Bobbi, can you tell everybody how it was? Remember when we had lunch during like that full, I think it was a Saturday, and Melissa came in to hold a conversation with all the cast, so the kids.
Oh, right.
How did you feel when we did that discussion?
I felt hopeful because there were, a lot of white students. Like everyone was pretty much white to, show how it is at my school. But they were really bringing up really nasty experiences. And I was like, okay, so this isn't just me. Like, this isn't just me. And you guys are actually recognizing it. So I was feeling really hopeful. I was like, so you guys see that there is a problem. It's not just me anymore. I don't have to feel crazy sharing these experiences and feeling like I'll be invalidated by you. It was great talking about how teachers talk sometimes, and I was just like, okay, we see each other. Yes.
Yeah.
You guys get it. So it was great. It was
That's
great.
good. I think we ran out of time. Unfortunately, this is definitely a conversation we can continue to have. Yeah. And we should, and you all should. I encourage you to have these conversations. You don't have to be a person of color or a kid of color to have this conversation in your home. As a matter of fact, we are already having this conversation in our home. I would like it if all the others had the conversations in their home so that you could bring even more awareness and watch another day. That's gonna help you tremendously. Trust me when I tell you, it didn't win awards for nothing. Okay, and so thank you to all of my guests. Thank you to Sommer. Thank you to Pearson. Thank you to Bobbi. Thank you to Shalia. Thank you to Amara. Thank you guys so much. Thank all of you for watching. Watch another day on goldenprideproductions.com. Yes, I got it on the first try. Okay, make sure you head over there. We'll have links and all that good stuff. And if you have a situation that you want to have a conversation about, please make sure to connect with us. This is what we do. This is a show for you. So let us know and we'll do it. And as we part, I like to say, I would love for you to take excellent care of yourselves. Make sure you take care of other people. That is also equally important. And when you think me, think we. We'll see you next time. Thank you so much. Bye, guys. Thank you.
Situations and Conversations with Trey Renee is sponsored by Black Parent Initiative, growing at the speed of relationships. Education Explorers, culturally sound, quality childcare you can count on. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.